close to that time now. away?
No, you're good.
gentlemen, please join us and remain standing while Mr. Justin Gibson sings our national anthem. Justin.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thanks, Justin, for that amazing rendition of Star Spangled Banner. You may be seated. That was a wonderful example of why they never asked me to sing the national anthem. Nice job. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Rob Scott, and I have the distinct honor of serving as president of Life University. I'd like to begin our celebration today by expressing our deepest appreciation and gratitude for each and every one of you joining us today and celebrating this very, very special occasion. It is good to be back in person for commencement. You know, it goes without saying that we've all been through a lot of experiences and unforeseen challenges over the past 6.5 months ago, and certainly our recent national unrest and our heightened sense of vulnerability felt by not just the COVID pandemic, but our recent societal issues of social injustice have just added to that vulnerability. And each and every one of us who's in this room has been touched in different ways through these circumstances, and some of us tragically so. So at this time, before we begin our ceremonies, I would ask that we observe just a few moments of silence to contemplate the significance of this day. And in our silence, let's give thanks to all that's brought us to this moment, the obstacles overcome, and the joys shared with our families and friends along the way. And those special people we wish could be with us today, but who are missing. So if you join me, please. Thank you. It's indeed my honor to welcome you to Life University for our September 2020 commencement of our College of Undergraduate and Graduate Studies, our College of Chiropractic, and our College of Online Learning. As we are delighted that circumstances have permitted us to be in person, albeit somewhat socially distanced, to be here today to celebrate our graduates' many years of hard work and this most significant of accomplishments. So we have important work today, so let's get to it, to honor this graduating class of September 2020. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Tim Gross.
What we do here in life sets us apart from all other colleges and universities. No other institution offers what life does, and we are very proud of our work here. and especially proud of our talented faculty who have prepared these students for career success, life fulfillment, and meaningful contribution. William S. Burroughs, one of America's most influential artists and authors, said this: "The aim of education is knowledge, not of facts, but of values." And we could not agree more. So in support of that premise, a Life University education is rooted in 3 values. Life University's deans and faculty have selected members from their respective colleges who best represent each one of these values, and we will recognize these recipients now. For the College of Graduate and Undergraduate Studies, Tiara Serena Lindsay, and for the College of Chiropractic, Shanna Lynn King, representing Lasting Purpose. To live an inner-directed life, to give, to do, to love, and to serve out of a sense of one's own abundance. For the College of Graduate and Undergraduate Studies, Alyssa Marie Leschke. And for the College of Chiropractic, Kane Taylor Queck, representing Vitalism. Our recognition that the universe itself is self-conscious and such creates itself as a dynamic system wherein living organisms are self-healing, self-developing, and self-maintaining. And for the College of Graduate and Undergraduate Studies, Abigail Elizabeth Harvey, and for the College of Chiropractic, Logan A. Pastor, representing integrity, a state of completeness or wholeness, an adherence to a set of values implying wholeness of body, mind, and spirit, and in our relationships with people and the planet. Lasting Purpose, Vitalism, and Integrity represent the foundation of a Life University education. They reflect our deepest values and are woven throughout every student's academic experience. The concept of these values reflect the world's most important and far-reaching conversation, and we treat our role in that dialogue with the utmost respect. So now we're going to get to what we're all here for today, to recognize these graduates and their degrees. Life University has 22 degree programs at the associate's, bachelor's, master's, and professional doctoral level. Today's commencement ceremony recognizes the accomplishments of those graduating from both of our colleges and our flagship program, the College of Chiropractic. The Associate of Science degree is awarded to those who have successfully completed at least 98 quarter credit hours, and the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Business Administration is awarded to those individuals who have successfully completed a minimum of 185 quarter credit hours. At this time, it is my pleasure and honor to recognize academic honors from this graduating class. For those unfamiliar with the awarding of honors and just how outstanding these accomplishments are, I would refer to your program. Please stand when I call your name and remain standing. Our salutatorian, Rope Henrik Chidanihus. Our valedictorian is Martin Cortez Silva. Please turn to the audience. Let's give these graduates a big round of applause. Before I bring our valedictorian up, I would like to just share a little bit about him. Martin comes to us from Chile and today is receiving his Bachelor's of Business Administration. Prior to coming to Life University, Martin was a professional soccer player in his country, where he also participated in the Chilean youth national team. During his time at Life, he has served as the Vice President for the Campus Activity Board, Treasurer of the Multicultural Student Association, Captain of the men's soccer team, and mentor for the STARS Peer Mentoring Program. And he still graduated as valedictorian. That's a good celebration. You can clap. At this time, I'd like to invite Martin to the podium to provide his valedictorian address.
Hello and good morning, Life Administration, faculty, staff, guests, and most importantly, fellow graduates. I want to extend my truest happiness and congratulations to all of you for this huge step made in our academic, personal, and professional growth. First of all, I want to thank my moms, my two moms that are over there. They crossed the 2 continents to be here with me today. Moms, you are my heart, my motivation, my focus. You gave me the opportunity to live my life in its fullest in Chile and in the US. I love you so much, and you know that. I thank my ever-present dad that has given even what he didn't have to help his son study abroad. You are my biggest hero. My family that has been always there with their incredible support and unconditional love. My soccer teammates and friends from Campus Activities Board that show me what brotherhood is and who I'm capable of being as well. I also would like to thank Lola Rodriguez, which was a staff member at Life University that oversaw the affairs of Hispanic students. She awakened in me this desire to challenge myself every day and to get out of my comfort zone. I'm also grateful for my soccer coach, Alex Pama, and his coaching staff for recruiting me. Without his offer and continuous confidence, I wouldn't be able to experience such empowerment and amazing time within our team. A team that became my family in the US. I want to mention Professors Henry Hammond, Ms. Janiak, Dr. Paula Billups, and Dr. Mary Harwell. Thank you for all the help and assistance throughout these years. As we experienced Life University, we found ourselves in an institution and community that embodies quite different values compared with other colleges, right? Life has provided us with a different perception of life, one that taught us how to rely more on our own self-being, based on vitalism and lasting purpose. As a result, we have become more aware of where and who we are to further develop our passion and skills, whether they are our hands, our mind, or even our own voice. Throughout these years, I found a so rich diversity within the faculty, the administration, and the student body. To have been surrounded by such variety of traditions, ethnicities, lifestyles, and cultural backgrounds has enriched our lives and opened our minds. While observing the beauty from each one of them, I can say I became more proud of my own heritage, having a better understanding of where I come from and where I'm headed. I hope this was your experience as well. Don't be afraid to show the real you to the world with your unique personality, skills, dreams, traditions, and with your inner fire. Be you, but more importantly, enjoy being you. In one of the books that I read recently called Outliers, it said that people's success is a result of the sum of external factors, including relationships with people, planned and unforeseen events, that pretty much clear the path for them to discover and to improve their talent and skills. Consequently, they just face more opportunities over time. So it is not necessarily about how smart you can be. It depends a lot on your own courage to look for and find those opportunities out there. You might fail, but the lessons will stay with you forever, and you will have another chance. If you succeed, you will be the proudest person in the world. As far as me, you moms, dad, family, coaches, teammates, and Life U community, you are my series of fortunate events, the ones that make me feel successful in my collegiate years at Life University. And lastly, one more piece of advice, a message that I found in a bookmark. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. If that means that you are scared, but you know what to do, just jump into it. Take the risk. The fear will pass, and more good than bad things will come to you. I assure you of that. People will look up to you. People will admire you. But even better, people will look after you. In the name of all the students graduating this morning, I thank the families, the faculty, the staff, and friends that were there on this remarkable journey with each of us. Thank you very much, and congratulations to this graduating class. We made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, for that wonderful heartfelt address. And now I'd like to ask Dr. Gianna Holwick, Dean of the College of Graduate and Undergraduate Studies, to present our candidates for the associate's and bachelor's degree to Dr. Scott.
Mr. President, the candidates for the associate and bachelor's degree have completed all academic requirements of Life University and come highly recommended by the faculty and administration to receive their degrees. It is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferring of their degrees. Candidates, please rise.
Martin Cortes Silva, summa cum laude, valedictorian. Rope Henrik Chidenius, magna cum laude, salutatorian. Receiving an associate's degree today, Karima H. Hanifa, magna cum laude. Nicholas Jaramillo Angel. Randy Nasarella Arshid. Arlene Vanessa Avitia. Bastia Bushle, cum laude. Omar Ismael Canales. Kiana Alexis Glenn, cum laude. Kiera Ariel Glenn. Receiving both an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree today, Lauren Hextall. Reagan Hibbs. Lakira Victoria Lawson. Alyssa Marie Leshke, summa cum laude. Tierra Serena Lindsay. Skylar Elizabeth Lowe. Abby Mace, magna cum laude. Zara Rainey, summa cum laude. Joshua Rodriguez, cum laude. Jomar Rojas. Sergio Soraya. Grace Shea. Ashley Marie Soto. Kaysley Torres Rodriguez, magna cum laude. Spencer Christian Sermont, magna cum laude. Lindsay Marie Taranis. The following graduates now, were not able to be present at today's commencement, but I'd like to announce their names. Jamie Beresford, Sydney Bickmeyer, summa cum laude, Shakia Brown, Pavlo Chechel, magna cum laude, Khadijah Diaby, cum laude, Kevin Glass, cum laude, Hannah Gamalik, magna cum laude, Nathan Kaufman, Ricardo Lawrence, Hongbom Lee, Gregory Ledbetter, Madeline Nazelrode, cum laude, Jonathan McGee, cum laude, William McCubbin, Gustavo Perez Caballero, cum laude, Nestor Rivas Rodriguez, Amber Tanksley, cum laude, Blake Vickers, summa cum laude, and Lauren Zisler.
Congratulations, everyone. Before I can confer the degree, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge a group of individuals who are conspicuously absent today. And that's Life University's faculty who have contributed, as you can imagine, in a monumental way to the success of these individuals due to the circumstances to allow space in the auditorium for our families and loved ones to participate with our graduates. Our faculty have chosen to allow the families to be here. So if we could take just a moment to acknowledge the contribution of Life University's faculty to the lives and success of the individuals. Thank you so much. I know each and every one of you would love to participate in today's ceremonies. There are a couple parts to awarding degrees. There's the legal part of conferring a degree, and then there's a symbolic part where we change tassels. On the DC side, there's an ethical part where we take an oath. So right now, we're going to do the legal part and confer degrees. So you can applaud if you'd like, but we'll hold on the real celebrations until the end when we have all of our graduates change the tassels. So if our associates and bachelor's degree students would please rise while I confer the degree. Degree candidates, with the recommendations of the faculty and the administration and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Life University and the state of Georgia, I confer upon each of you the recommended bachelor's degrees with its rights and privileges thereunto. Congratulations.
Life University also confers 4 master's level degrees: Master of Science in Sport Health Science, Master of Science in Positive Psychology, a Master of Science in Clinical Nutrition, and a Master of Athletic Training. The master's degree is conferred to candidates who have successfully completed a minimum of 52 quarter credit hours of post-baccalaureate work and any additional requirements for their particular field or concentration. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Holwick back to the podium to present the candidates for the master's degree to President Scott.
Mr. President, the candidates for the master's degree have completed all academic requirements of Life University and come highly recommended by the faculty and administration to receive their degrees. It is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferring of their degrees. Candidates, please rise.
Nuha Al-Falaj. Nice save. Alan Colno. Ebda Dawood Fatani. Aislinn T. Garrity. Also receiving master's degrees today in absentia, Darnisha Brown, Takita Clark, Michael Eggleston, Nicole Holt, Kim Howie, Dustin Lee, Candace Liedes, William Payne, and Nicholas Weston.
If I could ask our master's degree candidates to please rise. while we confer the degree. Oh, we're still waiting for one behind the curtain. Getting ahead of myself. It's a good catch though, Alan. Thank you. Master's degree candidates, the recommendation of the faculty and administration and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Life University in the state of Georgia, I hereby confer upon you the recommended master's degrees with all its rights and privileges thereunto. Congratulations.
Life University also confers the degree Doctor of Chiropractic on candidates who have successfully completed the rigorous requirements for graduation. The program contains over 4,900 hours of instruction, which includes 5 academic years of study, the successful completion of all required and elective coursework, and a 1.5-year long clinic internship. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the recipients of honors for this summer 2020 graduating class. So if you would please stand and remain standing when I call your name. The recipient for the Chiropractic Philosophy Distinction Award is Casey Hale Siasia. For the Clinic Excellence Award, Andre White. The recipient of the Research Track Honors is Kane Taylor Queck. I would also like to introduce the recipients of our academic honors. Our salutatorian is De Elise Traverso Bonilla. And our valedictorian, Taylor Lynn Downs. Let's face the audience. Let's give them all a big round. Be seated. And also, like our undergrad valedictorian, before I bring our valedictorian up, I'd like to say a few things about her. Taylor comes to us from Rockford, Michigan, and is a graduate of Rockford High School, where she swam competitively and played water polo. She eventually went on to play water polo at Michigan State University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in kinesiology. After graduating, she moved to Georgia to begin her chiropractic journey. While in the program, she became very involved with the MLS Club and adjusting seminars. Every week, she has dedicated time to training in the art and philosophy of chiropractic through the MLS approach. She also is a member of the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association and has a huge passion for working with pregnancy and pediatric patients. After graduation, Taylor and her fiance are moving to Colorado to fulfill their dream of living in the mountains. She loves to hike, mountain bike, kayak, and ski, so she's very excited to start her next chapter of life as a chiropractor out west. So at this time, I'd like to invite Taylor to the podium to provide a valedictorian address.
Good morning, fellow graduates, faculty, friends, and family. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how we're here already. It seems like just yesterday, we were sitting in 127, nervously glancing at one another and wondering, what did we get ourselves into? As Dr. Navis lovingly puts it, we were just first quarter babies, completely unaware of how the next few years were going to change the course of our lives. At times, it seemed like this day would never come, and these past few years have been some of the hardest and most rewarding years of our life. There have been triumphs, failures, marriages, babies, breakups, and everything in between. And I couldn't imagine going through this process with a better group of people. You all truly, truly make me proud to call you my colleagues. What we've done is a huge accomplishment, and this should not be taken lightly. We made it through OSCEs, clinic, internships, boards, and countless exams. No, really, I was actually going to count them and gave up at 5th quarter. And to top it all off, we're graduating in the middle of a pandemic. I know this day looks a little different from what we imagined, but regardless, this is a time to reflect on all of our hard work and sacrifices we've made to get to this point. And I hope you are all incredibly, incredibly proud of yourselves. While I'm honored and privileged to receive this recognition today, I want you to know that it doesn't matter what your final GPA is. What matters is being able to help the sleep-deprived mom with the colicky baby, or that gentleman with low back pain who can no longer play with his grandchild. Our patients aren't going to care about our Part 3 board's final score. They just want to be loved and to be cared for. And while it's important to look back on all the knowledge we gained in the classroom, the real test is about to begin, which is to walk across this stage, serve our communities, and just be the best doctors we can be. As chiropractors, we have a privilege that not many other professions have. Every day we get to use our hands to facilitate healing and connect with the individuals on our tables. And in a world that's become more disconnected than ever, we get to help people connect back to each other and to themselves. And I truly believe that's the most important part of being a chiropractor. We must be able to meet people where they're at, show them hope for a healthier life, be present, be compassionate, and just simply show them love. The world needs us now more than ever, and there is truly no greater time to be a chiropractor. And at Life, we don't just graduate with doctorates. We graduate with a mission to serve. Now the time has come for us to leave our little life bubble behind, and as we move forward in this next chapter, my hope is that we all just continue to be relentless in our pursuit of purpose. There's no doubt there will be changes and challenges along the way. But remember, excellence is never an accident. It's the result of hard work. And regardless of where we end up or how tough it might get, I encourage you to just always do your best in everything you do, no matter what. We've been prepared with all the tools we need to succeed and thrive. Plus, if you can make it through a Dr. Fox exam, I think you can make it through just about anything. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of the friends, the family, the faculty that have helped us along the way. Your constant support and encouragement has an integral part of our success, and we are forever grateful for that. I have no doubt at all that we are going to change countless lives. And just remember to trust the process and enjoy this journey we're on, because it's only just beginning. So congrats, graduates. We did it. Now let's go out and change the world.
Thank you, Taylor. That was amazing. At this time, I'd like to ask our Dean of our College of Chiropractic, Dr. Leslie King, to come and present our College of Chiropractic candidates to President Scott.
Mr. President, the candidates for the Doctor of Chiropractic degree have completed all academic requirements of the university and demonstrated excellence appropriate to the highest degree Life University bestows. With the recommendation of the faculty and administration, I am honored to present these candidates to you for the conferring of the Doctor of Chiropractic degree. Candidates, please rise.
Hi. Oh, here I am. Sorry. Taylor Lynn Downs. Commander of Thailis Traverso Bonilla, magna cum laude, salutatorian. Ashley Marie Anthony. Randy Nasarella Arshid. Laisha Quamira Bell. Kenneth Benfanti. Joshua Isaiah Budai. He is accompanied by his father, Dr. David Budai. Taylor K. Bullock. Coraima Burgos Rivera, cum laude. Maria Burgos Santiago. Jorge André de Jesus Rodriguez. Misty Fox, cum laude. Mark Garlitz, Jr. Justin Bruce Gibson, cum laude. Brianne S. Griffin, cum laude. Stephanie M. Jackson. Tranisha Johnson. Dylan James Kennelly. Hannah Lynn King, magna cum laude. Robert Martin LeFew III. Joseph Stephen McLayton. Patrick McMillian. Samuel David Miller, cum laude. Andrew P. Muldermans, cum laude. William Michael Mascari, cum laude. Paola Nieves Balaguer. Carly Elizabeth Hagels, cum laude. Logan A. Pastor, cum laude. Clark Payne. Dean Peters. He is accompanied by Dr. Dwyer Scott and Dave. Oh, your handwriting's so bad. Looks like Anjanae S. Pounds. Michael Renee Provo. Roberto Enrique Puig Irizarry. He is accompanied by his father, Dr. Hector Puig. Jane Taylor Quick, cum laude. Jennifer Ramos Maldonado. Ashley Christine Rumatula. She's accompanied by Jittick Rumatula. Sydney Alana Ruth, cum laude. Casey Hale Siasia. Alec Michael Shell, summa cum laude. He was the salutatorian of our spring 2020 class. Grace Elizabeth Shea. Simeon Johannes Coimbra, walking with his wife, Dr. Andrea Esau. Kyle Anders Skog, cum laude. Kimberly L. Smith Howard. Spencer Christian Sermont, magna cum laude. He is accompanied by his mom, Carolyn, Dr. Carolyn Sermont. Anthony Charles Telex. He is accompanied by his brother, Dr. Matthew McAleese. Lindsay Marie Taranas. Megan Farner Thomas. Sasha Huen Tran. She is accompanied by her fiance, Dr. Telo Leo Huengo. And in Essentia, the following people are receiving their Doctor of Chiropractic degree today. Lauren Carabini, cum laude. Siona Choi, magna cum laude. Jeremy Farmer. Eli Gutman. Daniel Hernicke. Brian Lichtenauer. Alexander Long. Nathan Miller, Angelo Pardo Valentin, Brian Perez Aviles, Andrew Passau, Christina Schmidt, Jonathan Snavely, cum laude, and Andre White, who received the Clinic Excellence Award.
You witnessed the tradition here at Light University as our Doctor of Chiropractic candidates walked across the stage. Some were accompanied by members of their family. That symbolizes a rich legacy and tradition of healthcare and service and lasting purpose in our community, and we like to recognize that here as well. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge that due to the circumstances of physical distancing, we had to limit the number of people who could accommodate the graduates on the stage. And that's particularly important because the Surmots come in dozens, and many of them were unable to be on the stage with us, but congratulations to everyone. If I could ask our Doctor of Chiropractic degree candidates to please rise. But let's make it that way. With the recommendation of the faculty and the administration and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees in Life University and the state of Georgia, I confer upon each of you the Doctor of Chiropractic degree with all its privileges and responsibilities thereunto. Congratulations, doctors. You know, it's during times like this when we miss our families, our friends, our life community, and this beautiful campus. And as Taylor said during her valedictorian address, we're all about to get out of life's unique little protective bubble and go out into the world and serve. And for the past several months now during remote instruction, being back in our hometowns, your home countries, we've come to appreciate that being a community doesn't necessarily mean having to share the same proximity. You know, Maxwell Maltz, the famous surgeon and author of the book Psycho-Cybernetics, he said that your mind can't tell the difference between reality and something imagined vividly and in great detail. So those times when you're back in your community and you're out of the life bubble, and we continue in the circumstances we're in of isolation and social distancing, when you have deep down in your pit of your stomach that sense that you miss the life community, there's something we'd like to share with you that will ground you here in that life community and anchor you to help you remember the times of life, as Maxwell Maltz said, vividly and in great detail.
Georgia, the whole
never rang so true. The world won't get no better. Just let it be. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. Now, this is an individual who needs no introduction around here. He has served our profession, I was going to say 40 years, but then I realized I've been at it 30 years, so it's probably 50 years. As an innovator, an educator, an entrepreneur, a president of 2 universities, as my predecessor as president and chancellor serving this university for 15 years, and this past January has stepped back from his official responsibilities and been given the distinguished title of Chancellor Emeritus of Life University. He always has a powerful message, and I'm sure that will be no exception today under our circumstances. So please welcome for the commencement address, Chancellor Emeritus, Dr. Guy Riepman.
Ontario, the fedora works, by the way. It looked great. I obviously had some comments. I'm going to set most of them aside because of a couple of things that happened while we were walking in today, and a couple of people that went across the stage, and some comments that Taylor made. Go green, by the way, Taylor. All right. And even reminded by Ontario, the guy who just did Georgia on Your Mind. I'm the only person ever in the history of the world that got kicked out of the Southern Baptist choir because my voice was so bad. Right? So I always love it when he comes in. I mouth the words quietly in the background, but nobody can hear them. But what stimulated me today was that I saw something coming across the stage and happening in this room that defined the difference for me between ordinary and extraordinary. You know, ordinary is real simply defined. It's whatever we're going to do, we know what the outcome is going to be. It's going to happen automatically. There's no surprises in it. It's ordinary. If you look in the area of marriage, we know that statistically 48% of married people say there's no need to be married. 49% say they wouldn't marry the same person if they had it to do all over again. I'd like to come home to that for 40 years. It's ordinary. We know, for example, that only 3 out of 10 Americans actually believe in all 10 of the 10 commandments. Now, everybody believes in some of them, like thou shalt not kill. But, you know, not coveting our neighbor and wanting some of their stuff, that's probably asking a little bit too much of us. 7 out of 10 Americans don't even know the name of their next door neighbor. Forget whether they've ever even broken bread with them or not. They don't even know their name. We've really circled the wagons. And 9 out of 10 Americans admit to lying regularly at work and at home. It's just part of their normal behavior. It's ordinary, right? You don't have to do anything special. Just be, and we'll be part of that crowd of people, that tribe. And you can see what the outcome of that is every night. Just turn on the 6 o'clock news, and collectively you'll see the end product of that, which is ultimately, in the end, all about mediocrity in life. Just getting by, just doing enough, looking for the easiest route. But then there's extraordinary. Extraordinary, right? It's 2 words, extraordinary, extraordinary. And people that are extraordinary have some unique factors. I don't know if these factors make them extraordinary, but certainly every person that I know that's extraordinary has these factors. One is what they call here in our positive psychology department in a program called CIT resilience. That's the ability, a zone of how much you can tolerate in life when you're put under pressure. We're seeing today in the world and what's going on in the news every night that a lot of people have a very small tolerance range, and if you don't fit into their view of how the world is supposed to be, we can't even have a conversation any longer about these kinds of issues. We just have to be violent with each other. People that are extraordinary have the ability, the resilience zone, to understand there's a broad range of looking at the world, and while they hold their own values very dear and won't compromise them, they certainly allow other people to have their values and learn from them. And then there's integrity. Every person I've ever known that's extraordinary has lived a life of integrity. They know what their values are. They don't compromise them. And they clean up their regrets and resentments when they have them in life. And then I've also discovered that people that are extraordinary have a large degree of self-reflection. They can sit in a situation and understand what their role was in the situation. Even when they feel that they've been harmed, they can see their role in that situation. They're critical thinkers. And God, today's world, we need a lot more critical thinking in this crazy COVID world that we live in. This is the first graduation I think we've had without noisemakers, cowbells, horns in the room. I don't know, are those COVID restricted? It's just a crazy world, and I'm going to comment a little bit about that. And then finally, the fourth thing that people that are extraordinary have is the ability to change. The ability to change, rather than just hold on to unfounded beliefs. And, you know, as I said, if you want to know what the outcome of ordinary is, look at the 6 o'clock news. When you want to look at the outcome of extraordinary, you have to pick out individuals. Today is my father's birthday. If you were alive, he passed away 22 years ago. He would be 106 today. And it seems like just the other day that, you know, I heard about him from my friends. He graduated in 1947 as a chiropractor from Palmer College. He was at D-Day, one of those guys storming the beach. Quiet, kind, gentle human being. Opened up in Albuquerque, New Mexico with my mother, who passed away just a couple of years ago at 93. Who not only ran his office, but when he retired, my sister took over his office. She ran that office every single day until she passed away at 93. And one day I was with my dad before he passed away. He had to retire because of some physical health problems. And we were sitting around the house, and the mail came, and there was a check in the mail for $500, just randomly, $500. And my mother, who remembers everything, all the way back to when visits were $2 a piece in 1947. She remembered everything. And she remembered this patient from some 45 years earlier who had come in and didn't have enough money to afford the $2 or $3 visits. And my dad, like all the great chiropractors who serve people, provided her care anyway, because of gratitude he had in life. And 45 years later, she remembered, she inherited a little bit of money, remembered what my dad had done for her, hunted him down, tried to figure out what the care might have cost in today's terms, and sent him a check for $500. Extraordinary. That's the life you want to have. So what does it take? What does it take to live an extraordinary life? One of the great philosophers of all time, Kermit the Frog, said, I got ready to take a test, and everybody took out their slide rules, but I thought the answer was Abraham Lincoln. You know what? The whole world is taking out their slide rulers right now, and we're looking at the world differently. And in that is one of the great lessons. We had a gentleman that came into one of our healthcare clinics, very famous gentleman actually, in a wheelchair, had a problem he was complaining about on one part of his body. And they looked at him, and our neurology told us that they needed to exercise the other part of his body. And so they had him squeezing a ball and doing some things to stimulate the nerve system along with adjusting him. And he kept complaining. He goes, but it's not there. It's my problem's over here. And the chiropractor, Ryan, would try to explain to him the neurology of why we were working on this over here. And finally, after explaining it to him 3 or 4 times in his complaint about this problem over here, he said this, he goes, well, in medicine, we don't think that way. Guess what? Kermit didn't think that way. The thing that makes us different isn't necessarily just our skill sets. People that are extraordinary actually think differently. And at Life University, we honored that at the beginning of this program. One of the things that stimulated my concepts today. The notion of vitalism, that we are self-developing, self-healing, self-maintaining mechanisms. That the nerve system controls how the body functions. That if you interfere with it, you get malfunction in life in the body. And that there are 3 things that interfere with it. Environmental toxins, emotional stresses, and physical traumas. You can do one of 2 things. You can believe that the body is intelligent and have respect for it, and try to remove the interferences from it functioning properly, Or you can go and think you know more than the human body and try to manipulate it back to what you think it does or should be, which always has side effects associated with it. Every one of you that graduated today from Life University graduated with a unique skill. Some of you as chiropractors will have the ability to go out and correct a physical trauma to the nerve system called subluxation. Some of you that graduate in the nutrition program will go out of here and help eliminate environmental toxins by teaching people how to eat foods that are whole and without pesticides, and how to eliminate other toxins in their lives. Some of you will graduate with a psychology degree and go out and look at people differently, helping them find ways to develop the positive aspects of their lives, not necessarily just treating the negative aspects once they become pathological. You all have individual skill sets. But the one thing we all have in common, sitting on this stage and in this room today, the one thing that little green diploma meant when Rob Scott handed it to you, is that we all think differently at Life University than the rest of the world. And that's common to all of us. I'll give you a couple of examples. We know that 1 out of 19,000 people will die from COVID. 1 out of 19,000. On CNN, they'll let you know who the one is. We'll hear the news every night about the ones. And I'm not minimizing this. All of us in this room have been affected in various ways. But my question is, what about the 18,999? How come no one's researching them to find out why they didn't get it? What do they have that everybody else missed? Maybe the 18,999 have a message for us that we can't see by looking at the. And so you know what? We think differently about those 19,000. What about Dr. Brenna Walters, a graduate here at Life that worked at the Vital Health Center along at the Atlanta Birth Center downtown, who when a woman was 30 hours into labor, it looked like they were going to transport her for a C-section, invited Brenna down to check her out. And Brenna went down, crawled into bed with her, gave her a chiropractic adjustment, used the Webster technique to relax some of the muscles in her pelvis. And that baby was born 30 minutes later. She saved that mother's life and maybe even the baby's life. We think differently. What about the group here in our school, the wonderful group coming out of the psychology department that are today working with the United Nations, developing programs and teaching people from around the world how to teach us things as compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, reconciliation, rather than the counter of all those hate and anger and retribution, and teaching it to teachers from K through 12 so that they can go around the world and teach that to their students. Wouldn't it be great if our kids learned that along with math and English while they were attending school? So here are the things that they have. One, they think differently. You and I do, people that are extraordinary. Two, we serve people with our unique degrees. Three is love. I love that quote, love thy neighbor as thyself. I've heard a million lectures on it in Southern Baptist churches growing up. But there's one thing that's sort of implied in that, and that is that you have to love yourself first before you can love other people as yourself. And so learning the ability to have forgiveness and gratitude and integrity are critical not only to loving yourself, but then being able to love and serve other people. And then, of course, we have to learn to give. We're coming up on an election, one of the most contentious elections I think I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's calling on all of us to ask, what kind of citizens are we in our relationship with each other? And I've always said there are 4 levels of citizenship. Number 1, you better have an opinion if you're going to be a citizen. And you better be critical and thinking about that opinion and be able to back it up and have it make sense, not just do it emotionally. The second one is you need to go out and vote. November 3rd's around the corner. Get ready. Go out and vote. Number 4, and these are in higher levels of importance as far as commitment. People that actually don't just vote, they actually commit their life and their money and their resources and time to the things that they believe in. And finally, the highest level of citizenship is the willingness to actually give up your own life for the thing that you believe in so deeply and strongly. My question isn't whether you're willing to die. My question is, what are you willing to die for? What would you be willing to die for? Just recently, one of the great pioneers and icons here in Georgia, pioneers of the civil rights movement, John Lewis, passed away. What an amazing guy. I met him a number of times. He was a great friend of Life Universities. And I started thinking about this. We always think of people that we see as extraordinary human beings. We see them in terms of who they were at the end of their life. John Lewis, senator, Washington, D.C., at the highest levels of management power in the United States. But if you ever go back and look at John Lewis's life, hardly anybody knew him when he and a couple of students sat at a counter in South Carolina, where they were not allowed to sit, were drug out and beat almost to a pulp and sprayed with insecticides, trying to indicate what those people thought of him and his friends at that particular time. We always think of them as they were, and yet when we see these people at the end of their life, we think that they were never like us, that they just had something special that we didn't have, and it's not true. We see Mandela as the president of South Africa in an auditorium of 65,000 people. And he made a massive statement that day, symbolically and in his message, that you can't rebuild countries and lives based on retribution. It has to be based on reconciliation. But we never remembered Nelson Mandela as just an attorney working in poverty in South Africa. If you ever saw the early pictures of him, big broad shoulders, big thick rugby neck. A lot different. That angry Marxist when he went into prison, and he came out 29 years later a smiling Democrat and led his country. We always think of Mother Teresa in terms of her recognition around the world. But if you go back and look at her early life, she was a struggling nun trying to figure out what her role should be and what she believed in and how she should work and where she should go. So you know what? We have these images of people at the end of their lives that have influence, but I have to tell you, they all started out just like you and I started out in life. There's a book, or series of books by a man by the name of Carlos Castaneda, and he has in it a fictional character by the name of Don Juan, who's an old, yucky Indian man, medicine man who lives out in Arizona. And Carlos Castaneda in this book went to visit Don Juan to see what he could learn from him about the world. And he lived in an old shack, old broken down one-room shack. And Carlos Castaneda told him that if he was going to take him on an internal journey of self-discovery, he would be meeting demons along the way. And so he had to have a safe place always to retreat to, where the demons couldn't harm him. And he said, I just happen to know that your place is on my porch. So your job tonight is to find out where your safe place is on the porch. So all night long, Carlos Castaneda sat on that porch. He'd stand in different places to see if they felt differently. He'd roll around on the floor to see if he got close to the boards that one might feel differently. And after hours and hours of doing that, he fell asleep. In the morning, Don Juan comes out, slams the old rickety screen door, wakes him up, looks at him and says, "Oh, I see you found it." You say, what is he talking about? And that is our safe place, is the place where we put all of our energy and our passion. We're not doing what we do, as was pointed out, because this is easy. We're out to change the world, and it's going to be hard. But it's the hard that makes it good, isn't it? As B.J. Palmer said, make your business your religion, make your work your religion, and make your religion your business. Challenge your imagination, but measure your effectiveness by your execution. A child doesn't fall 50 times when they're learning how to walk, and at one point they say to themselves, I don't think this may be for me. They keep getting up until they can walk. Yes? So you know what? It's time for us to go out and get into some good trouble, as John Lewis talked about. Because you're not going to change the world without creating some good trouble. And so my last comment was stimulated by someone who walked in that I hadn't seen in a couple of years, who got an associate's degree today. I met her at Arendelle Women's Prison, where Life had created one of the first, most effective programs for education ever in our prison system. A couple quick comments. Almost everybody that goes to prison gets out at some point. But 70% of the people that get out of prison wind up back in prison. It's called recidivism. And there doesn't seem to be anything we've ever really discovered that made much difference in that. Not job placement, not halfway houses, not counseling. They're all important, they all help some, but not dramatically affecting those statistics. The only thing that seems to do it is education. You say, well, then why doesn't every prison have educational programs? And the answer is because it's hard. They move the prisoners around because of gang issues. They don't leave them in a place long enough to even study or get a degree, much less. The states make it almost impossible. The accrediting agencies, with the barriers they set up, saying that a student at Arendelle Women's Prison would have to have the same rights and privileges as a student on our campus. Not only that they take the same tests and have the same instruction, have to pass the same criteria, but they have to have access to computers, which you're not allowed to have in prison. So you know what? It took 3 years for the people at Life University to work with a governor in this state to finally open up that prison. And I remember the first 15 students that were accepted into the program there. And I went up to their last class of the first year in the program. And I met these women. They were amazing. By the way, these are not people in prison for DUIs. In this class of 15, 3 of them will never get out of prison. Of the prisoners that were in the class, the average length of time they were going to be in prison was 28 years. And I sat around and they told me their stories. They were amazing. They loved Life University. One woman told me her story about why she was there. Her mother was a drug addict, pimped her out her whole life from age 8 until she was old enough to leave home. She left home. She knew her brother was being pimped out for the same reason. One day got a call at work to come home. Her brother was laying bloody, unconscious in the yard. She rushed home, found her brother unconscious, walked in the house, saw her mother sitting there getting high with her drug dealer, and pulled out a gun and shot them to end that cycle of violence. And of course was convicted. Those are the people that were in that program. The ordinary thing would be to write that off. Wouldn't you agree? The ordinary thing would say, she got what she deserved. The ordinary thing would be to let someone just fester away and die away gradually over time unknown for the rest of her lifetime. But you know what? That is not the case of people that think differently at Life University. And one of those people walked across the stage today and got her associate's degree. So Karima, go get them, girl. Yep, you're all leaving with skills. You have your degrees, they say what they are, they're all unique. But you're leaving here with a common purpose, lasting purpose. It's our common bond, it's our sacred trust, it's our statement when you look at that diploma that we don't think that way. We think differently, and in thinking differently, we may be able to change the world. Congratulations, we are so proud of you graduates, and we're so proud to have been part of your life here at Life University. Thank you.
Compassion, forgiveness, reconciliation, useful tools. Dr. Chiropractic students, if you're ready to leave today and enter into a world of servant leadership, would you please stand so we can recite the chiropractic oath? You have the oath in your hands if you'd like to read along. Please repeat after me. In accordance with the law of nature, that law which God has prescribed to all humankind. And in consequence of my dedication to the health of humankind, by the application of that law, I promise and swear to keep the following oath, to the best of my ability and judgment. I will observe and practice every acknowledged rule of professional conduct in relation to my profession, my patients, my colleagues, and myself. I will keep an open mind regarding the progress of my profession, provided that this progression shall be confined within the boundaries of the chiropractic science, philosophy, and art. I will serve my patients to the best of my ability, violating neither their confidence nor their dignity. And in my association with patients, I shall not violate that which is moral and right. I shall regard and refer to my fellow chiropractor with honor, giving credit where it is due. I shall improve my knowledge and skill, firm in my resolution to justify the responsibility which the degree Doctor of Chiropractic symbolizes and imposes. To all this I pledge myself, knowing these ideals are prescribed by the dictates of reason alone. Congratulations, Doctors of Chiropractic. Now the fun part. I'd like to have our associate graduates please stand. Our bachelor's degree recipients please stand. Our master's degree recipients please stand. Graduates, September 2020, if you change your tassels from right to left, please turn and face the audience to be acknowledged. Congratulations, graduates.
Please be seated. I know. The only thing standing between you and the rest of your lives, we're getting there. So in closing, our celebration today is an acknowledgement of your personal accomplishments and studies here at life. It is also a recognition that you now have all entered a regrettably small club, adults who possess a college degree. You spent many years acquiring knowledge of facts, knowledge of values. But it is important, however, to remember that knowledge alone will not change the world. It's the application of that knowledge and the application of those facts that changes the world. Bob Riley, a former governor of Alabama, said it so well, one can make a difference, and in fact, it is not only possible for one person to make a difference, it is essential that one person make a difference. And as Dr. Reedman said, thinking differently, believe it or not, that one person has to be you. So if you fail, never ever give up, because fail only means first attempt at learning. End is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. And if you get a no for an answer, remember no just means next opportunity. So graduates, everyone, enjoy today, but tomorrow there's work to do. Congratulations. Thank you for being here.